Let's get the international news now. Here's Simon Pusey with Around the World in 5.
From the Channel's newsroom here in London. The former US Vice President Joe Biden has announced he's running for the White House. He served as President Barack Obama's deputy for 2 terms and was unsuccessful in 2 previous presidential bids. Launching his new campaign, he criticized President Trump's response to the 2017 Charlottesville white nationalist riots and declared America was in a battle for the soul of the nation. The 76-year-old Democrat enters a crowded field with 20 candidates in the race for the 2020 election.
If we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation, who we are, and I cannot stand by and watch that happen.
Russia says North Korea is prepared to end its nuclear program if there are international security guarantees. The comments came after the leaders of the 2 countries held their first ever summit in Vladivostok. President Vladimir Putin also said he's ready to help defuse tensions between Pyongyang and Washington. A cheers after a day of historic talks. 2 leaders toasting to closer ties and political cooperation. As well as dinner, a concert of traditional music and dancing performed by Russian artists. And as is standard, they exchanged gifts to mark the occasion. Vladimir Putin receiving a sword from his counterpart, while Kim Jong-un was given a historic Russian coin. And for the North Korean leader, discussions had gone well. He told guests talks had been meaningful and sincere, and that he hoped to build on friendly relations between the countries. Talks are seen as a chance for North Korea to show it has powerful allies, especially after discussions with the US failed in February. Meanwhile, for Moscow, the opportunity to highlight its influence on the Korean peninsula, as well as address the ever-present issue of denuclearization.
What is denuclearization? It is to a certain extent disarmament of North Korea. Of course, I have spoken about it all the time and can confirm once again the North Korean side speaks about it as well. Democratic People's Republic of Korea needs guarantees of its safety and sovereignty.
And then the long stage-managed goodbye. This is the first time the 2 leaders have held talks. If you didn't know better, you'd think they were the best of friends. Sri Lanka remains on high alert following the Easter Sunday terror attacks which claimed more than 350 lives. Police have carried out a number of controlled explosions across the capital. A motorbike thought to be suspicious was detonated as a precautionary measure. And security officials ordered a lockdown at the central bank and a road near the airport following bomb scares, underscoring the nervous atmosphere. More than 70 people have now been arrested in connection with the weekend bombings. 3 members of Sudan's ruling Transitional Military Council have offered their resignations. It follows talks between the TMC and protest leaders. The country's opposition movement and ruling council have agreed to form a committee to resolve their differences as tensions grow over how long it will take to implement a civilian government. The former Nissan boss Carlos Ghosn has posted bail for a 2nd time. He was arrested last year on financial misconduct charges and was re-arrested last month on a new charge. $4.5 million was paid to secure his release. The Tokyo court set a new condition curbing any contact with his wife without prior permission. He's already banned from leaving Japan. He denies the charges against him. The Vietnamese government has confirmed the country's president is unwell. Nguyen Phu Trong hasn't been seen in public for 11 days. The Foreign Affairs spokeswoman said the 75-year-old has been affected by an intense workload and changes in the weather. No information was offered on the nature of his illness or how serious his condition is. A white supremacist convicted of one of the most notorious hate crimes of modern times has been executed in Texas. John Bill King was put to death by lethal injection for the murder of James Byrd Jr. in 1998. His 49-year-old victim was hitchhiking when he was attacked and killed by being dragged behind a truck.
When asked if he had a final statement, Mr. King simply responded with the word no. He did, however, provide a written statement that reads as follows: capital punishment. Them without the capital get the punishment.
King showed no remorse then and showed no remorse tonight. His execution tonight was just punishment for his actions.
A house in Michigan has been demolished after it was hit by a truck. The accident happened after the vehicle blew a tyre and lost control. It then hit another truck before it ploughed through the building. No one was home at the time of the crash, and incredibly, the driver only suffered minor injuries. And finally, firefighters in Italy came to the rescue by helping two injured cats. The pair fell unconscious after inhaling smoke from an apartment fire. Oxygen masks, specially designed for animals, were used to revive them. Both are recovering and now said to be doing well. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
Many thanks indeed, Simon. Olumide Macaulay is up next with sports news.
Thank you, Gimba. Hello, welcome to Sports News. Struggling Bendel Insurance have ended the 13-match unbeaten streak of Rangers FC with a 2-1 victory in a rescheduled Nigeria Professional Football League game. Junior Sage opened scoring for Bendel Insurance in the 34th minute, but Kelvin Toya leveled proceedings for Rangers 2 minutes later before Steven Soje sealed the win for the Benin City side 7 minutes after the restart. Premier League champions Manchester City have dominated the Professional Footballers Association's Team of the Year after claiming 6 out of 11 spots. Anderson, Raheem Sterling, Sergio Aguero, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho and Aymeric Laporte were all named in the side, which also had 4 players from Liverpool. Liverpool dominated the defensive positions with Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold in the side, as well as Sadio Mane, named as the forward. Chelsea coach Maurizio Sarri has been fined £8,000 by the English Football Association after admitting a charge of misconduct following his sending off against Burnley. Sarri was sent to the stands by referee Kevin Friend in Monday's 2-2 draw with the Clarets after attempting to intervene in an altercation between Matteo Kovac and a number of visiting players. That's where we leave it in Sports News. News at 10 continues.
Fourth African Drum Festival has held today in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, with drummers from across Africa. The event also brought together prominent Nigerians, including Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka, the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, the Alake of Egbaland, and some former governors of Ogun State. The event attracted participants from North Africa, Central and West Africa. We'll bring you the full report of the opening ceremony of the Drum Festival at midnight. And the main news again. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said today that President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet is still intact and that the valedictory session will be held on May the 22nd. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night. Good night.